Hey, it's Monday. Isn't everybody happy? I think that I have figured out what the problem was with the washing out. It was that I only had the overhead light on in my interview area, and it was causing a lot of glare. So I'm still getting some glare, but it's not so bad. And I have a window open, so I have natural light coming in. I think we're in a better place. So hi, how you doing? um, I'm very excited. The book is at the copy typesetter person who, happens to be somebody who loves me. So that's a plus. But still, it's getting some professional touching and it's going to look really nice when it hits the shelves. And I'm very excited about that. That's the Taylor Mage novel, number 2, Bloodwater. And like I said, I'm hoping it's going to be on the shelves by the end of February, which I know I've said a couple of times, but it's like actually happening this time. Yay! Um, there's a lot to learn in the process of putting a book together, and the writing is only the tip of that iceberg. Writing, frankly, is the easy and kind of enjoyable part, even though I sweat a lot over it, because then comes the rewriting and the editing, and then the re-editing, and then giving it to other people to read, and then realizing that you wrote a bunch of crap and you have to go back and rewrite and re-edit and re-re-re-edit like 4 or 5 more times. And only then do you end up with a product you can look at and go, I might possibly be willing to allow someone other than my family to read this. But it's still kind of like birthing a child. You don't want to put that book out there because once it's free, you don't get to do any more changes. And it's almost terrifying. So yeah, I'm assuming it's that way for people who paint or do scrolls for SCA or knit and any kind of artistic, putting out music. Letting it go so that other people can enjoy it or dislike it is really hard. Oh my gosh. But I'm going to do what I can do because, this is what I do. So that leads me to the cookbook, which is coming along swimmingly, actually. The editing is done on the foreword in the first chapter. I'm on to the middle chapters. I did the test run on the very last recipe that was in the book that I hadn't tried, and it was just a condiment. It was actually making mustard from scratch from mustard seed. And I gotta say, wow, what a difference. It's not at all like commercial mustard. It's not as saucy. For instance, you could not have squirted this out of a little squeeze bottle that you keep in the fridge. It was very thick, almost like a hummusy quality to the texture. And I need to figure out how to fix that for the modern palate. It's fine for when I'm doing medieval stuff, but like for instance, I made a mustard covered honey mustard chicken dish. And when I put the mustard on, when I made it with commercial mustard, it heated up and then it kind of glazed over the whole thing, which was exactly what it's supposed to do. When you make it with the medieval style mustard, it just forms this thick crust over the top, which admittedly was really yummy. And it kept the chicken underneath moist, but it didn't glaze it quite the same way. So I might have to like either not put it on the top and sort of maybe rub it in, or I don't know. I'm going to look for ways to make it more saucy for the modern palate. That's the way I'm going to deal with it. But I can say that it was very tasty, and I'm really looking forward to you guys trying it. It's one of the easiest recipes in the book. There's no cooking involved in it. It's just mixing ingredients, and it's pretty simple. And the result is something that you can share with anybody. The mustard, while it isn't a modern mustard, bears enough resemblance that nobody's going to have a fit. It does have a bit more bite to it than the average regular dark mustard. So keep that in mind when, if you're feeding it to kids. But really, I was impressed. It had a very good flavor. It had a decent texture. And it was fairly easy to make once I figured out the details for it. And that's why I test run these things, because I'm about to go back and revise the instructions that were on that because, yeah, that didn't work quite the way I expected it to when I wrote the recipe out. I mean, all of the technicalities are the same. You crush the mustard seeds, you add in but when I went to do it, there were some things that didn't quite work out. For instance, I didn't have the right mortar and pestle. So I switched to using my food processor, and the food processor didn't work as expected either. So it was a little exciting, but thanks to family interventions, it worked out, and it was really good. So I have lots of things to share in about that. The cookbook is really coming along nicely. I foresee it being done by April and having it at the New Hampshire Ren Fair. So everybody keep bugging me about it, keep asking for it because I really want to get it done. And every time you guys ask about things, it gives me a little push. Excuse me, and I feel really good about it. So, yeah, so that's where that's at. And then being a writer is a really interesting thing. So I write, therefore I am, and that's okay. I have a loving family who support me in my bad habits, so I can continue writing even while not starving. Um, some people would say that not starving actually takes away from the writing experience, but I find that nutrition and adequate hydration are wonderful things, and they really help my writing escapades. So I recommend it. I really do. But one of the things that happens is I get books in my head. I have a number of books that are stories that are churning in here. And I have a timeline on when to write them. And I need to stick to that timeline mostly because people are counting on me and they want to read my books. And I've, kind of made noises that certain books would be out at certain times. And I need to do that. I need to keep up with it as close as I possibly can. Um, so that's what I've been doing. The other day I was tired and very sore because I've put my shoulder out and I'm dealing with that. I was sitting at the computer and I was a little on the despondent side. I had done as much editing on the cookbook as I could for a day. I had done all the chores. I had, you know, made sure the kids had done their homework. I had done everything that needed to be done. I had even done my exercises. Yay for workouts. And I really should have been editing. And then I decided that the story that's been knocking around the front part of my brain was more important than everything else. It simply had to at least partially come out onto the written page. And so I started the fantasy novel, and it has elves and orcs and humans, but not in the configuration that you're used to. Some of it takes place in New York City because I like New York City and it's a very vibrant place and it works for the setting for this story. But some of it's going to take place right here in New England. So if you're from New England, you will recognize sort of some of the places. And it's looking to be very dark fantasy, very gritty and very real feeling. Think about like Witcher, but set in modern times, that kind of gritty dirtiness to it and that reality rather than the clean, pristine lines of the princess fantasy that we had during the 80s and 90s. And I'm really excited about that. And what I got on the page the last couple of days has been really exciting. It just started really flowing and I'm stoked. So there's that. And I have a sci-fi novel, but it's way back here in the queue, so there's other things ahead of it. We'll get there. There's lots of things that you got to do. Okay? You have to do the necessary things. You have to eat, you have to hydrate, you have to bathe occasionally. You need to brush your teeth twice a day, minimum, folks, minimum. You need to love people. You need to be held and hugged. When you get all those things and you get your exercise, whether you go for a walk or you go on the ski machine like I did earlier today, or you lift weights or you wrestle with your kids or you do yoga with goats, I don't care. Go do something. Get outside if you can. Be by a window if not. Let some sunlight touch your skin. If you do all those things, the writing comes easier, the editing comes easier, dealing with your family while you're explaining why you didn't get the dishes done because you were doing editing gets better. Um, ah. So just so you're aware, I'm away this coming weekend, the Valentine's Day weekend. I'm usually back in on Sunday evening, and I usually have plenty of time to get things done on Monday. Should there be a storm or we get caught where we are or timing doesn't work out, I may not be back on Monday. Please don't freak out. I will be back. If I don't do one on Monday, I will do a video on Tuesday. So you will get me next week, just maybe not on Monday. So we'll see what happens. But I should come back with a big smile on my face because this is a relaxing weekend for me. And even though I'm doing a bit of teaching, I'm going to be having a lot of fun. So that's also necessary, the having fun thing. Also, have you read a book lately? The people who write the best are the people who read a lot. Let that one mull through your mind. Pick up another person's book. Tom Hart has a fantasy novel out, I think. I posted up on my Facebook page. You guys should check it out. It looks really good. I haven't had a chance to pick it up yet. I have other books in my queue personally, but yeah, check out Dan Sesney. I'm sorry, Dan. Dan S. There you go. Uh, Check out the Libertarian book is going to be coming out, the anthology, and that has one of the stories about one of the back characters in the second Taylor Mage novel. So once you've read my book, you can go out and get the Agorist's Workshop book, the Clarion Call novel, and that has a story in it that will give you the backstory of one of the people, or the beginning of the backstory of one of the people that is in the second book. So lots of cool and amazing things going on. I'm going to let you go because I've got water to drink, and yeah, it's been a long day, and I just realized my water isn't even up here, so I can't hydrate. So that's a bad thing. I have to go fix it. You go fix it. Is there a cup of water beside you? If not, go get some. Not the coffee. Put the coffee down. Tea is acceptable. Maybe if it's herbal. Go hydrate. Eat good food. Leave the cookies alone. Okay. I love you guys, and I will see you in a week. And don't forget, somewhere down here, there's a little itty bitty teeny weeny subscribe button. And if any of you know how to fix that and make it big and chunky, I would love to do that because I still haven't figured it out yet. So I'm not the technology person. I just make the videos. I love you guys. Have a great week and do good stuff, okay? I really want to know what you're working on. Share with me, share with each other. Um, you know, writing, even though it's a very solitary thing, in a way is a group sport because we support each other and we love each other. So keep supporting and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next week. Bye.